Hello children, I welcome you for the next lesson. I hope you're fine. God has protected you up to this day. We'd like to go through some next work for us here, which is talking about reducing fractions. The other time we were talking about shading fractions. So from that shading, we even did some reduction, we did some multiplication. Even here we are going to do the same. Let's look at how to reduce fractions. What is the meaning of the word reducing? To decrease on the quantity or reduce on the fraction, to reduce the value. Reduce the value of a given fraction, both the numerator and the denominator. What do we mean by that? What do we mean by reducing the fractions? We say fractions are reduced in their simplest form. The simplest form means the numerator and the denominator should no longer have the common factor to divide them, apart from 1. You can divide the numerator by 1 and the denominator by 1. So there are other fractions that come when they're already not having the common factors, apart from 1. Like you have 2 out of 3. If they give you, that one remains. We have 5 out of 6. We have 5 out of 7. If those numbers don't have common factors, then there is no need of you saying you are going to reduce them. You have now to write the answer the way it has been given. So next is the numerator and the denominator are divided using the common factor, which means only one number. I've not said common factors. We are here, we say common factor, which means you pick only one. Let's look at example 1. Saying, reduce the following fractions to the simplest form. To the simplest. What is the meaning of the word simplest? It comes from the word simple. The simplest that you can no longer reduce. That is your last point. So let's have it. This is it. A is 2 out of 4. We call it 2/4. 2 out of 4. The other time you shaded the fractions. When we mean 2 out of 4, you know the parts you're supposed to shade. You shade the 2 parts out of the 4 parts. So what do we do there? Reduce the following fractions to the simplest form, or to their simplest forms. So we have 2 out of 4. What is the common factor between 2 and 4? Which number divides 2 at the same time divides 4? What is that number? That number is 2. So we shall say 2 divided by 2 out of 4 divided by 2. Giving us 2 divided by 2 we get 1, and then 4 divided by 2 we get 2. That is it. Then we go to the next, B, which is 3 out of 12. 3 out of 12. What is the common factor between 3 and 12? Let's look at 3. What are the multiples of 3? We have 3, we have 6, we have 9, we have 12, we have 15. Therefore, 3 and 12. 3 is a common factor. Common factor means the number that can divide 3 and the remainder is 0, and the same number can divide 12 and the remainder is 0. So we go, that number is 3. 3 divided by 3, we get 1. And then 12 divided by 3. 3 goes how many times? 4 times to give you 12. Therefore, we shall have our answer. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 12 divided by 3 is 4. Take a look at the work, number 1, A, and number 1, B. Let's look at C. Our C is 15 out of 20. When you look at 5 there, and here is 20, we always say numbers that end with 5 or with 0. They're all multiples of 5. So you will learn in patterns and sequence. You talk about the divisibility test. The number which can be divided by 15 and the number that can be divided by 20. Sorry, the number, yes. So when we divide 15 by 5, we should be able to get the answer. When you divide 20 by 5, you should also be able to get the answer. So the common factor between 15 and 12, multiples of 5 include 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30. So let's go. Let's divide 5 by 15 by 5, sorry. 15 divided by 5, what do we get? We get 3. 20 divided by 5, what do we get? We get 4. So our answer is 3 out of 4, which is called 3/4. Our A was half, B was a quarter, and C is 3/4 of 3 out of 4. So when you divide 15 by 5, and then 20 by 5, meaning it is 5 which is the common factor between 15 and 20. Let's take a look at our number 2. Saying reduce 24 out of 36 to the simplest form. Reduce 24 out of 36 to the simplest form. There are others that have multiple division. You keep dividing until you remain with the smallest. But our first 3 examples up there, you're only dividing one time and your answer is rich. But take a look at number 2. Our number 2 is saying 24 out of 36 to the simplest form. Let's look at it. Our 24, meaning the first common factor there you can see is 2. So 24 divided by 2, what do we get? We shall get the answer 36 divided by 2. So what is 24 divided by 2? How many times does 2 go to give you 24? What are the factors of 2? We have 2, we have 4, we have 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26. Those and others. So is 24 one of them? Yes. How many times did you count there? That 2 goes to give you 24. It's 12 times. What about 36? Let's take a look. Our next move. So 24 divided by 2, we get 12. When you multiply 12 times 2, should give you 24. Then 18 times 2 should give you 36. So 24 divided by 2, 12. 36 divided by 2, 18. But still 12 and 18. It is not like the first 3 numbers. When you see the first 3 numbers there, you are dividing once. But this one, after dividing the first one, go to the second one. 12 and 18, there's still a common factor. Can we move on? We shall say our 12 over 8. Let's continue dividing by 2. So 12 divided by 2, what do we get? We get 6. 18 divided by 2, we get? So 12 divided by 2, we get 6. 18 divided by 2, we get 9. So the answer is 6 out of 9. 6 out of 9. 6 and 9. Don't you think there is something there? Let's move on. Let's first separate our work there well. And we say, 6 and 9. When you look at 3, we have 3, we have 6, we have 9, we have 12. So 3 is the common factor between 6 and 9. What does it give us? Our final answer? It is 2 out of 3, meaning 6 divided by 3 is 2, and then 9 divided by 3 is 3. Go through your work, check A, check B, check C, and go to number 2. Follow the work. And then the next one is going to be our activity. So make sure you follow the work very well, because in the activity, what you have seen here is what you are supposed to do there. We will keep dividing and keep comparing. In primary 4, you talked about factors, how to divide numbers. Even LCM you talked about. Even GCF you talked about. So use that idea that you learned there, plus the idea that we have got here to help you get that number very well. So follow through our A, B, C, and then our number 2. What is the difference between number 1 and number 2? Number 1, we are dividing once. Then number 2, we kept reducing until we reach our final answer as 2/3. As 2/3. Let's take a look at the next step, what it is. Underline your work. Our next step is the activity. Reduce the following fraction to the simplest form possible. When you reach there, that is the final point. Thank you very much for being with us. We wish you the best.